just going to start the slide.
Hey!
Joe, come on! Come on! Living rent free in your head, eh?
Living rent free, lad.
Marching on together. Right, now we actually are starting. First of all, I will go gentle. And I should say before I start, when you hear any of the jokes, Hilly did say that I was that ugly as a child in his best man speech about me, that my mum started to get morning sickness symptoms after I was born, so that gives you an idea of what sort of a speech that we're going for today. Strap yourself in, lad.
Brilliant.
One second. I might actually as well be the only person that does a speech over 2 different nights after how long that took, Hilly. Have you all heard of the infinite monkey theorem that states that if you will leave monkeys in a room with a typewriter for long enough, they'll come up with the works of Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Rob Hill's speech. All 2 hours and 50 minutes of it. Just came up with that one. Now you will have to bear with me as well, because I've got a speech, a microphone, a clicker thing. And I will also start as well by thanking Joe Sutcliffe as well, who's going to be doing the work for me today. So let's all give a hand for Joe Sutcliffe. Jack from round back. As well, it involves a little bit of multitasking this, and I'm about as good as multitasking as Hilly is at driving, so Godspeed. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Acki. Nice to meet you.
Acki!
Those that I do know, hello.
Acki!
I'm good, bye. So, I didn't really have to write this speech. Hilly wrote it for the last 34 years. I just get to deliver it. Like I say, you all know him, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most of it should have been written in the last 5 days since he's been here. You're an idiot. I should say as well, I mean, he mentioned, but the most Hilly thing is the fact that he got married in the year that there was a global pandemic. And if any of my friends was ever going to do that, it would be Hilly. So, cheers. Let me just find my place. Now, as I say, I've got a lot of material on him. 95% of the material, sadly, is undeliverable. So there was a lot in the scrap bin. I'll do my best to piece together stuff that won't get him arrested. Again.
Controversial.
Again. Now, we'll start by saying, Kelly, you look absolutely amazing. Yeah, you've done an amazing job organising this. The venue is superb, and yeah, you just look brilliant. Far too good for him, but I've been telling you that for years. But there's no going back. What's done is done. And yeah, I speak for everyone in the room when I say that it's just, yeah, an amazing place to get married. I'd thank you, Hilly, but you had one job which involved passing the suits out to the ushers. If you're an usher, you know that didn't go very well. That's it. Now, yeah, obviously there's a few pictures up there that we want to show of him with the chief.
Yeah.
The salute thing, chief. Now, Hilly claims he looks like Danny Dyer. He doesn't. But there you go.
No problem.
Maybe his daughter. And yeah, I'm just going to talk you through a bit of what it's like to know him for the last 25 years. Long 25 years. Not as long as his speech, but long. Now onto the clicker. So let's clear up the first myth. It worked, yeah. Round of applause for the slideshow. We're done.
How did I tell you later?
Rob is not ginger.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being ginger because before my hair fell out, I was ginger. But Rob spent the last, I don't know, however long saying that he's strawberry blonde, which isn't true. So, you know, I just thought I'd clear that up.
Brilliant.
Well, he wasn't. But yeah, so just put the clicker down a moment. As I say, there's a lot of memories that I've got of Hilly in the last 25 years. Honestly, the majority of my memories are all with him in it, which I don't know is good and bad. I can remember when I first met him, I'd moved from a different primary school, and he was this sort of quiet, shy, softly spoken Bradford City fan who lived at the bottom of my road.
Johnny!
Now things didn't get off to a great start. That he loves to tell me. He says that first time I went round to his house, I cut the heads off his mum's flowers, and she wasn't best pleased with it, and I don't think I was welcome round for a while. So I am sorry, Penny, and I hope that I've managed to change your opinion over the years.
No, you're still not welcome.
But you never invite me round, so maybe not. What I would say as well, about 6 months later, they sold the family home and went to go live in a caravan, which was weird, but there you go. Now, one thing about Rob is he was a terrible swimmer as a child. When we used to go to Leeds International Baths, he wasn't allowed in the big pool. I've been nice to you, Joe, but neither were you. They were just there flapping around in their armbands. I'm not even sure that he got his dolphin certificate won, but more of that later. And the standout moment of being at primary school with Rob was definitely when we watched a film called Menace to Society. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen it. If you have, great film. Sort of an American gritty gangster film. Now, after watching it, and we were 10 at the time, just remember that, he decided to go home and shave lines in his eyebrows. Wanted to look gangster. Now, this particular thing, he shaved his lines in his eyebrows, but rather than just shaving a line, he sort of wasn't happy with it, so I thought, it doesn't look great, and thought he'd shave half off of each one, but that didn't look great either. So he decided to shave all of his eyebrows off. Imagine thinking that looked better. Now this particular morning we used to walk to school, and he just looked ill. Ill than he normally does. And I said, what's up with you? There's something wrong. Nothing. Me and my mate, we were just, tell us, what's up with you? And he admitted to shaving his eyebrows off. And he went to school, in fairness, I think he lasted 2 hours that. And his mummy came to come pick him up. Which was nice. If only I had evidence of what he looked like. Leave it up. Now, I will give him a little bit of credit. He was very popular as a child. Everyone loved him. No one really ever fell out with him. Nobody ever does. I can remember trips to... well, Kelly, obviously, but you know. I remember trips to Lightwater Valley with Jack and Joe, where they'd actually fight over who could sit next to him over me, which I'm not offended about, but you know, there you go. Times have very much changed. And then we went on to high school. I tried to shake him off, but you know, no, we're recreating that tomorrow with Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
So we went on to high school, and I think Rob would say he had some great times at school. The majority of his friends that he has from high school, he still has. He struggled to meet a lot of people after high school, but. What is weird is the majority of his friends are not actually from his own school year, so I don't know if that tells you the story about what he was like at school. But no, we all love Rob. Let's give a little hand to Rob. Now, the majority of you probably don't know, but he's the least athletic person that walks the earth. and he doesn't really walk it. He can't run, jump, kick, throw, swim, many think drive. So to my surprise, one particular day he was picked for the football team, I think about year 8. Only once, I'll add. It was away at Cleethorpes School, I think. So if any of you went to there. And yeah, it was an awful day, raining, terrible weather. Yeah, he gets brought on at left back to my sheer amazement. And to those lads who know him, it would be their sheer amazement as well. And this ball comes flying over his head and he was spinning around trying to follow it. And he ended up just putting himself into a spin, falling flat on his face, into a puddle. I think they ended up going on to score. And yeah, he was never seen near the football team again. Tragic. And yeah, so yeah, he was never seen again. However, as schools are very much for sort of all about the participation, recently he was actually asked to come collect his medal for the one cap that he received for school. There it is. Yeah, I once kicked a ball award. Well done, Rob.
I once kicked a ball award. Brilliant.
Kind of, joking aside, I've always been fascinated by him, and I don't mind saying I've loved every minute growing up with him. Some friends came and went, but never him. And yeah, just every sort of memory I had with him was amazing. He was just different, is different, as you know, has many quirks. Such as he was the only mate I had who went to a childminders, which I thought was strange because he was 15 at the time, but he obviously knew something that was going to happen in later life, and who was I to judge? He was one of the only kids that had monthly pocket money. Was it £20? £20 a month? Was it? Well, sure, it was £20. He had a monthly subscription to FHM about the age of 12. Penny. Look what you raised. He's the only person I know, and I imagine any of us knows, that's cured himself from asthma from doing nothing. Literally nothing. It's like asthma gave up on him. He did. Remember that peak flow meter that you used to blow into? He refused to carry his house keys, so he just left them in a plant pot above his door. He had this weird patch of hair on his under his chin, like a goat. He's the only person I know that calls his grandma by her first name, Pam. Which I should say as well. Let's raise a little toast to Pam as well. So Grandma Pam.
Grandma Pam.
He called his TV remote as well a doofer, which I always thought was strange. Now. Hey. Scousers. Now he had a crack at further education. He went to sixth form. I think it lasted about 7 months. He didn't do anything in that time, but he will tell you his crowning glory was at sixth form after party, Christmas party, where him and some of the lads that shall remain unnamed decided to get a taxi. Now we decided, they decided not to pay and do a runner, like you do. Now the only issue being, as I mentioned earlier on, is Hilly can't run. And he managed to find himself trapped in a garden. The taxi driver had got out by this point and was hunting him down. And he trapped him next to a house and said, "Get in the taxi." And it was only him, by the way, no one else. So they took him down to Wheatwood Police Station, or as his dad, Jez, fondly remembers it as work.
The embarrassment when I worked and he got arrested.
Now Jez came to get him and clearly worked out who he was with, because Hilly had been quite clever and given they're all their names.
Yeah.
But he ever so slightly tweaked the surnames. So Jez came and decided who it was and sort of gave our true identities, didn't you, Jez?
Yeah, it wasn't difficult.
The taxi ended up costing everyone £75 for the repairs to the door.
Who paid for that?
The moral of the story is, he's an idiot. Now, Hilly is in no way rough, hard. I went out looking for fights. He couldn't have had a better upbringing if you ask me. I think his mum and dad are amazing. you know, I'll give you a toast, Penny and Jed.
Where's my thumb? That's my thumb there.
But he did have his fair share of scraps as a youngster, did Hilly, as I'm sure a lot of you know, and he lost every single one of them. You have the true HHS spirit.
DNA check to
I honestly have so many memories. I could be up here as long as he was, but I want to make sure that Penny sleeps again in a lifetime. What I would say, Penny, is it's good to know that that letter that you wrote him about his behaviour all them years ago paid off.
Yeah.
Hang on. Don't worry. Now, actually, I mentioned earlier on that Hilly didn't get his Dolphin 1 certificate, but actually, there was a night out in Leeds where I think he might have achieved it.
Oh, what on earth that?
This is Hilly doing his bonsai jump. Go on, go to.
Oh, the Olympics.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is it, David?
It's after 5 in the morning. Oh, Hilly, no.
We saw that yesterday.
There you go.
Who filmed that?
That's before he was the pervert lifeguard that he was yesterday, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting. And then, as we know, he met Kelly and things changed.
No, we met Kelly that night. Yeah, that's a
Really? Oh.
No way.
Before or after?
Before, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Were you cooling off? Oh, I like it.
Pulled him off.
So as you can see, yeah, they, as I mentioned, they met each other, and I can see exactly why Kelly fell for him.
Really? Should have got the Specsavers. Oh no. Oh no.
So leave up for a while. Yeah. He was the horse of high school stud, as you can see, and nothing has changed in later life to change any of that. But I can also see, Hilly, why you fell for Kelly.
What on earth? Oh, what a difference!
What is that? No rubber gloves tonight. I've always said though that Hilly's punching, as you can see. Kelly, I can remember meeting you, well, I say I can remember meeting you, the fact that they've all discussed the first night you met has made my job much easier because I couldn't remember the first night I met you. But I remember it was sometime around, 2008, 2009, and I can remember him being just really smitten. I remember him telling how much he liked you. I can also remember thinking that you'd also have very ginger children, but that's probably something else. I also remember thinking that my wife at the time would be quite happy that Hilly's finally got a girlfriend, as he did a lot of third wheeling. Particular night in Barcelona when we went out for Benicassim, he booked a room for just the three of us, which I thought was a bit weird, but I'll give anything a try. This particular night, he decided to go to the toilet and ended up in the bath. Emma went into the bath and could hear Hilly sleeping, but he was groaning at the same time. Well, I think he was sleeping, I don't know. And I think that was the point where it was like, enough's enough. But what I can say is I know how much you care for him, how much you guide him through life. And I honestly think that between you, you'll take any challenge head on, like this one.
Oh, here we go.
Just twist it.
It was changing a bulb, that was it,
Just twist it so it comes out.
You watching?
got his own series out of that, you know, I'm telling you.
Did you see what I mean when I said the speech wrote itself? It's just about delivering. Kelly, honestly, I've witnessed firsthand how generous you are, how kind you are, how you look out for others, how you always offer to drive for him, which we now know why. And that sippy cup that you bought me from Las Vegas is still one of my favourite cups, so thank you for that as well. Now, it's obviously not a relationship, without its drama. I think you'll all agree they're a real-life Ross and Rachel. Part of me thinks that Hilly just can't take a hint. Honestly believe we're here because Kelly ran out of boroughs of London to relocate to. He's also the only person that I know who could answer the question, what's going on with you and Kelly with, I don't know, like someone else would. There was a story recent actually where we did a quiz during lockdown like we all did, and we were doing a Mr. and Mrs. round, and one of the questions was, how long have Rob and Kelly been a couple? And I remember thinking, oh God, I don't know, and it was to the nearest year. I didn't get the nearest decade. Nobody knows. But they are a beautiful couple, and honestly, massive congratulations for today. Let's just have a little few pictures of them. I think you'll all agree, a bloody lovely couple. I'm not sure if that's sick, but it looks like it's Kelly's. Oh, look at that. Nearly done. As long as I'm less than Hilly, I'm fine.
They're all in colour.
Final thoughts on Hilly is, and I mean this in a loving way, he's an enigma that he comes across to anyone he knows, but no more than his mates. And I just mean that in a loving way. Carter will tell you his strong opinions on anything that he reads on Twitter are legendary. Doesn't have any of his own opinions. As we all know, he thrives under pressure. Doesn't feel stress. It's just weird. He goes to Ellen Road. I think he's gone for the last 3 years. He goes with Blythe, Ben and Johnny. He's managed to see 7 goals live in those 3 years. I will add as well that him hanging around with his uncle Johnny, they're not bad influencing each other at all. Kelly, I put stop to that right away. He's many things to many people, but I will, without doubt say he's the most entertaining and just, best person to be around, amazing person. Let's just take a little look.
Here we go.
What's not to love?
How long have you got?
I'll leave that there a minute, you can have a quick look. How's the stag do? Had to get wax bar in there, didn't I?
Oh dear.
Rob Doherty. I thought I'd get some of the lads that come here as well, Billy, so.
Yeah.
Went a bit early. All joking aside, I'm fortunate and proud to call him the best mate that I've had for 25 years. Our friendship hasn't changed at all since school, which I don't know if is a good or a bad thing. I know that it'll piss Kelly and Hilly off, and saying it out loud is weird, but I wouldn't change anything in the world, so you're like a brother to me. So Kelly, welcome to the family. Also, Amanda, Richard, Dunny, Jem, good luck. So, yes, before I finish, I sent a video to... no, I didn't send a video. What am I talking about? Getting the best bit wrong. I sent a text to people who couldn't be here to ask them if they can do a video. Sadly, they all declined. But someone was insistent on doing a video. And I said, why? You coming? But he was insistent. So somebody wants to pass on the regards and congratulations to you. Had to get him in the wedding. Mr. Nick Whitley.
Hi, Billy and Kelly. Just wanted to wish you all the very best on your big day. Not being able to get back to the UK in a little while to see you due to obviously the situation that's been going on. But the boys have told me that Hilly, you've managed to get into the shape of your life for the wedding, so that's great. Looking good, mate. So yeah, I guess I'll see you soon, and all the very best for your future together. Cheers.
Can you raise a toast to Nick Whitley, please?
Willie, did you?
Nick, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. So yeah, that's me done. It's been a pleasure. Can we finally raise a glass to the happy couple, to Rob and Kelly? Thank you.
Well done, Acki!